Around the year 1900, a boatman in the Lake District captured a creature which defied explanation. It had the body of a hedgehog, the tail of a squirrel, and the wings of a dragonfly. He even captured this iconic photograph. He called it the Tizzie Whizie. Now, 125 years later, myself and my field guide Jack headed into the Lake District wilderness in search of the creature. Our first port of call? Climbing Helvellyn.
I heard about this waterfall at the bottom of Helvellyn just now. Usually you'd think this would be a fantastic place to sort of get a good idea of the wildlife here, look for the sort of animals that you might find. Honestly, right now we're probably not going to find any sort of signs of the Tizzie Whizie because they do prefer milk, genuinely. So what we'll do is we'll just keep our eye peeled. We'll look for some sort of, maybe there'll be some nice marshy sort of boggy stuff to look for some more sort of signs of their presence. But isn't it beautiful?
Continuing up the mountain, my field guide Jack checked under this bridge to see if there were any signs of trolls, but you don't get them in the Lake District, and also I don't like them, so there were none. But further up, I stumbled across a sign that we were definitely on the right track.
Right, so here is a lovely, lovely sort of patch of mud. This is the sort of perfect, it's just a little bit of brook sort of trickling through it. Perfect consistency for finding tracks and things like that, signs of animals. Now we can tell from this, we can tell with pretty good confidence that there has been a Tizzie Whizie here recently. You can tell that because obviously they get around with their wings. They're obviously flying quite a lot, and there's absolutely no sign of tracks here whatsoever. So that's a pretty strong sign that we're in the right sort of place. Let's keep going.
With higher hopes, we continued up the mountain for another few hours. The scenery was majestic, the perfect sort of place for a Tizzie Whizie to want to make its home. Jack stumbled across this small cave with a carton of cranberry juice inside, but then found signs of the Tizzie Whizie's darker side.
So it's actually very well documented that the Tizzie Whizie does occasionally get into little scraps with the local sheep population. If you look down here, as you can see here, there has been an outburst of violence. This is actually all that remains of the sheep. Although these occasions are rare, they are usually very one-sided. The Tizzie Whizie has a natural advantage over the sheep being basically just a herbivore that doesn't do much, and the Tizzie Whizie, which is an incredibly violent creature when it wants to be. They're not always violent. They can be quite docile creatures when they want to be, but certainly around this time of year, this does happen, sadly.
As we approached the summit, a small and easily missable feature on the mountainside caught my attention. Potential Tizzie Whizie den.
Okay, I'm going to be quite quiet here. But just here is a little warren. I mean, it could easily be a rabbit or something like that, obviously, but could almost just as easily be a Tizzie Whizie's warren. And now, the only thing that leads me to believe that is, see just here, this moss here. So the Tizzie Whizie absolutely hates that. So you'd think maybe why would they build a house there? But this is the genius of the Tizzie Whizie is that's the last place a predator would think they would make their home. So they're ingenious creatures, despise that stuff. They think it's yak. But I'm just going to leave it back how it was. And then that's me. I'll leave that be now, just in case it is in there. But yeah, lovely place to live. Lovely. Hates it.
After summiting Helvellyn, with no Tizzie Whizie sightings under our belts, we decided to head back down to the shores of Ullswater, to some woodland by the lakeside, a habitat which lines up a little better with known sightings of the creature.
So I'm here now, just maybe 100 yards from old water, and just in a wooded area. This is prime locations. From the accounts that we've heard, this is prime locations for a Tizzie Whizie. Now the reason I'm sort of keeping my voice low now is because if you think about the body mass of a Tizzie Whizie, obviously its wings have got a lot of weight to carry, so their bones are incredibly hollow. They're almost 85% air, and what that means is if you hear one land on a tree, sometimes they make a sound like a bell. So if we listen very, very carefully, a bird won't shut up, so just keep your ear out, because you never know, if you hear one hit a tree, ding! I can't do it justice, but you know, we'll keep an ear out. Anyway, I'm going this way.
After walking around the lakeside for another 3 hours, I finally gave in and headed over to talk to Glenn Henderson, local historian and folklore expert, to see if he had any inside knowledge about the creature and where to find it.
So Mr. Henderson, thank you so much for having me here. Can I call you Glenn? Is that all right? So how long have you lived here in this beautiful countryside? So what? Okay, first of all, so obviously this documentary is about local folklore, the Tizzie Whizie. Have you ever seen one? First of all, what brought you into the field of local history? First of all,
Women!
Say we're going to go and look for one of these things. Where do you think would be the best sort of place to find it?
Within yourself!
With my interview with Mr. Henderson proving far less fruitful than I'd hoped, it was at this point that I decided to call it a day on my search for the Tizzie Whizie. I took one final look at the photograph that started it all, and that's when I saw it. Found only in Bowness Bay, Windermere.
Oh, this is the wrong bloody place, haven't we?
Oh, what? We didn't find it.
What?
God, man.